and that was a free service, and it really didn't allow us to create a collaborative landing page for our members, and it sort of just lacked a bit of that, I guess, professional look. So for a pretty low cost, we've transferred over to SharePoint, using mostly, I guess, guest features. So we have a few licenses to keep the costs down, and that really enables us to set up all of the sites, to have enough storage space, and then we invite everyone as a guest to participate in the SharePoint sites. So I guess the first site is our extensionAUS whole community landing page. This allows us to distribute all of our meeting documents, our agendas, our partner documents. It allows us to then have all of our user guides, and anything else really related to the whole of extensionAUS. So they're pretty simple. They're basically, I mean, we do have security separating the partner stuff and the normal member stuff and things like that. But essentially, it's pretty simple. We've got a collaboration library that allows us to share documents with the members. We have the ability for the user guides to be shared with everyone, so no login, just a link to that user guide. And it really just sort of runs along those type of lines. And essentially then we have a community of practice site for each of the COPs. So we'll just delve into, say, AgTech. And so basically we have set up just a basic landing page for each COP. We have some quick links, we have some collaboration documents. And as we go through the migration process, we'll pull over the documents from the Google Drives, and we'll make them available in extensionAUS. Then the leaders, they can add documents, move documents, add quick links, change the event schedule. They have a special library to upload their own documents in order to facilitate leading the community. And then the collaboration documents are available for all of the members, essentially. So that way we have a separated security and members can't see the leader documents and things like that. But it's all pretty simple, and we've kept it simple just to keep the admin, I guess, down on it to make it more affordable to run. But essentially what we're looking to do is migrate each COP from that Google Drive now into SharePoint. And there's just a few things that we need to do. So after this meeting, I'll be contacting the leaders individually and setting out a time frame for us to migrate you across into the SharePoint environment. And essentially we'll organize a date and time where I'm migrating the documents. I'll organize you to send me a list of your leaders and then the members, so we can invite everyone into the SharePoint environment. Previously, the members required a Google user in order to access the documents in the COP. So that will now be a Microsoft login, and we'll distribute a guide when we migrate you across on how your members can essentially create a Microsoft login, and then how we will add them into each COP site. So when someone becomes a member of a COP in extensionAUS, we'll add them to the main parent site so that they can access the user guides if they need to. But really that is more for like our leaders to access. But there is information in there that we will give access to just normal members of a COP, but generally they'll be running through each COP's landing page. And that way they they will go to, say, ag tech, and they will lodge their ideas or whatever documents that you want from them directly into SharePoint, and you can do then live collaboration with each other, track changes, all of those type of things, and go through your publishing process as you would the same in Google. And essentially that's sort of how it's going to work. We will be then linking the SharePoint sites onto the menu of your public sites. So if you do have members and they go to, say, AgTech on the WordPress site, there'll be a, extensionAUS AgTech portal that they can click on, and that will take them directly to the SharePoint landing page. And we'll do the same thing with the parent page. Just that way it facilitates people navigating a little bit easier into the collaboration environments, and highlights that we are now using SharePoint as our main collaboration portal and tool. Yeah, so I guess that's the main plan, and we have all of the sites already built. So we'll be looking at migrating over the next couple of months. Is there any questions?
So Dennis, if anyone doesn't have familiar with SharePoint, or they want a particular hand with it, we are here to help, aren't we? So if anyone's, I know many of your organizations are already on SharePoint. So if anyone that isn't experienced with SharePoint, we can help that transition.
Correct. And we do have a link to some Microsoft training on getting started with SharePoint that just goes through some of the basics about how to upload documents and stuff. But really, it's pretty easy once you get used to it. But yes, certainly we are here if you do need any assistance with it.
Any questions on SharePoint?
No questions on it, Gavin. It's through here. I just think it's a great development for extensionAUS to move over to SharePoint and have this like a more professional interface, a collaborative environment, independent to all of our own SharePoint sites and Google Drive. So I think this is going to be a bit of a game changer going forward.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, it's a fabulous innovation for us. You guys are in SharePoint, many of you already, but in terms of how it's being adapted to suit the community of practice environment, I think you'll find it much more user-friendly and much more versatile. So yeah, thank you, Dennis, for making that happen.
Gavin, Jody here. I just wanted to highlight to everyone that they won't need to get a separate Microsoft login. Your AgVic ones or your New South Wales ones will be used, and just to change the tenancies like we do, I suppose, for AgVic, who have flipped tenancies in the last couple of months. Up in the top, sort of in Teams or thingy in the top right-hand corner, there's a little flip thing that you just sort of change in there. So I just wanted to highlight that we won't need to get new logins and all that type of thing.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jody. Very good point, and that'll be better and easier than the current way that we have to do it with Google Drive. Thanks, Jode. The next agenda item is just to explain to you about an innovation coming through from the partners meeting. So Jody and Ruth and myself can give an update on the partners for the last agenda item. But essentially, we reviewed the evaluation component of extensionAUS. And obviously, we provide the tools, or have provided the tools ever since its inception, 10 or 12 years ago. But we thought there might be a better way that we can add value and help you all as community practice people. And that's by us helping you embed a program logic approach so that we can then tailor the tools and the outputs from the extensionAUS monitoring to suit the information that you might require and help you set that up. So I'm sure many of you have used program logic, but I've got it up there on the screen. So essentially, program logic plans backwards from the outcomes and then implements forward. So planning backwards from your outcomes and implements forward from your current situation, your priorities, the resources, etc. So Tocal and New South Wales DPI have got an evaluation specialist that's going to help with us all in this space. but essentially what we will do is survey you all, very short survey, I promise, won't be a detailed survey, but just get you to reflect on those outcomes, what your ultimate goal is. You know, are there particular short or medium term goals that your community practice is about? It might be awareness, it might be, you know, particular skill that you wish to see people improve upon. It could be there's some practice change or impact that you as a community are trying to assist with. Whatever level it is, that's probably pretty much the extension continuum, a bit like Bennett's hierarchy, or like Bennett's hierarchy. It might be awareness only or information provision, but it could be all the way through to trying to encourage some form of practice change. We can then work with you on tailoring what extensionAUS can gather in terms of information and how to monitor things that might be able to tailor evaluation of your project throughout your engagement with extensionAUS tools. So that's the thinking. So to kick that off, there's a model being developed, but we will, as I say, come to you and just ask you about the outcomes that you and your leaders are looking for, that we can then work upon you and work with you and look at how we can deliver value.